Hi, everyone. Welcome to your market update for October. Now, we did see some positivity in the market. First off, it's the same across the board. There's going to be variance in our micro areas that we're talking about, but what we saw was a decrease in total sales month over month and year over year on almost all areas. But we saw a slight increase month over month in most places and across Simcoe County as well. So let's dive into it. Midland, as I said, sales are down month over month and year over year, but we did see the median sales price lift back up to quote unquote a normal, but it is still down year over year. Penetanguishene, very similar story. Sales are down slightly. Year over year, they're down slightly again, but the prices are up both month over month and year over year. Tiny Township, it saw a massive increase in its inventory levels as well, back up to 12 and a half months of inventory with a decrease in total sales month over month. Year over year, it's getting really low, but the prices on both month over month and year over year increased up to $750,000. Now, Tay Township, we saw the sales flat month over month, year over year down almost by half, and the median sales price up in the month over month, but year over year, it is also down under that 600,000 mark for the first time in a while. Barrie, however, this is a bigger sampling, so we like Barrie because of its numbers. It produced 173 sales. That's down 10%. And that's very normal for this time of year where we start seeing either level or slightly downshift in sales in October as we move into the winter months. And it did see an 18% shift downward in the year over year sales. Now, the median price in Barrie, though, month over month actually went up by $10,000, but it is still down year over year 7%. All right. Collingwood, exact same thing. Sales are a better sample size, but month over month down 15%. Year over year, down 19%. Month over month, we saw an increase up above that 700 mark again, and flat year over year for Collingwood. And Wasaga Beach, another great sample size with a decline in sales, but an increase in year over year sales. Wasaga had a really tough year last year, so it is seeing a little bit of a rebound. However, its month over month sales price dropped a little bit, but year over year, it did see a rebound again, which is really great. And Aurelia, which has really been the shining star this year as far as performance goes, is flat on sales. It's increased in sales, and it's actually increased in sales price. It was a little low last month. It was an anomaly month. So it's back up to where we would expect in that 600 to 620 range. And that's what we see with the year over year as well, as that 620 to 602. Now, looking at all of Simcoe County, this is really relative because what happens with all of Simcoe County is we saw sales drop to 706 total sales. So that's 11% decrease month over month and year over year. But we did see a sales price increase. So this is a big sample size, 706. I say it's a big sample size because we have to be a little bit subjective about a big sample size because I want to move over to some additional data for you. Now, first off, we're talking about headwinds in prices. And Simcoe County is starting to see those headwinds on the month over month prices gradually and slowly coming down to August at negative 1%, September at negative 2%, and October saw a 1% increase. So we're starting to see headwinds, which is basically the price drops are slowing down and coming to a halt. And 3 months is traditionally a trend is the way we look at it. However, sales volume is way off of where it should be. What we're looking at here is the unit volume for October only for Simcoe County, and this is to create a 10-year rolling average. So I can only pull data back from as far as 2010, but what happens with the 10-year rolling average starting in 2019, we saw 909 sales, and then the 10-year rolling average gives us a little over 1,000 sales during the peak of market. And then we're slowly dropping, but we're still 240 sales off the 10-year rolling average. So it's 26% decrease. And the last time we saw volume of sales this low was back in 2010 when there was less people, less houses, less interest in moving into Simcoe County. So there is a huge pent-up demand that is starting to form in Simcoe County. And it's even more than we see in all of Canada. So this is the numbers from CREA, the Canadian Real Estate Association, for all of Canada. And what you have here is the black line is your 10-year rolling average or moving average. And what you have with the red is the monthly home sales in volume. So what you have is the 10-year rolling average for sales should be around 43,000 sales. And the actual sales that are taking place right now are around the 40,000 mark. So that's about an 8% off the 10-year rolling average, but Simcoe County is seeing 31% off, 45% off, 19% off, and 26% off. So there is a pent-up demand that will eventually come to fruition in Simcoe County. Who knows when that's going to happen, when our economy stabilizes and our policy stabilizes in Canada. We'll probably see a lot of buyers return back to the market. Now, if I was a buyer, I'd be looking at these rolling averages and going, well, we're at what seems to be the bottom of the market. There's lots of inventory available. Now's the time for me to jump back in the market. It's a great opportunity, and a lot of my investor clients are coming back to the table because they are seeing these headwinds in their prices as well. And so if you're a seller, the good news is that we're starting to see stability in the prices. And if you're a seller and you're looking to sell, the good news is also you're probably going to be a buyer, which means you're selling low, but also buying low. So there are fantastic deals out there. I'd love to show you around them. But if you want any more information on what's happening with your house specifically in your neighborhood, reach out and I'm happy to do a comparative market analysis for you.